So good evening, I am Dr. Sunny Bhavsar. I practice frequency healing as well as I practice radionics. I am the fan of radionics and I see tremendous results with radionics, especially with SE-5. But I want to talk with you personally to get more insights of radionics. So for the normal people, like we as a frequency practitioner, frequency healing radionic practitioner, we know the history of radionics, and there are big history. But as from your perspective, from your point of view, for the laymen, from the normal people, can you just tell in very short what is SE-5?
The SE-5 is an instrument that uses scalar electromagnetic energy. And that's collapsed electromagnetic fields to be able to do balancing and analysis, both. We can analyze and balance from a subject at a distance. So that could be a plant, could be an animal, could be a person.
Oh wow. So that means you want to say that even a person at a distance, we can still analyze and balance them from the distance?
That's right, because
Wow.
we're using what's called scalar electromagnetic fields. Now, that is a little bit of a strange way of describing electricity, because we're used to what we call vectors, or like a radio wave, or something that the further away from the source, the weaker the signal, right? Like a radio wave. You have a radio tower, the further away you get, the less and less and less the signal is until it stops.
Like a sound waves.
Or
It goes
also
down.
sound, that's also a vector wave. But a scalar wave doesn't work like that. It's more like, it's in both places at the same time. They sometimes call this a standing wave because it moves from point A to point B, but it encompasses the entire space. So it's not directional, it's omnidirectional. And so when we input information at point A, which is the SE-5, and let's say you're in India and you're my target, then it is already connected to you, and so it's not going through time and space the same way.
Okay. Oh wow, great. So that means if I want to work on someone in a good way, even I can send the scalar waves even to USA or even to the
Doesn't matter where.
Wow, that's a great technology.
For example, Galen Hieronymus did a test on 3 astronauts that went out into space on Apollo 11, and he measured their vital signs every hour on the hour from here to the moon. 500-page report. We're talking breathing, heart rate, things like that. Then he sent that to NASA, and they compared it to what they were measuring on the spacecraft, and it matched hour for hour, all the way from here to the moon. So distance is irrelevant.
Wow. So that's the amazing part of this technology, where you can work without the limitation of distance.
Right.
And as per my knowledge, if please correct me if I'm wrong. When you say scalar, does that mean it's already invented by a great scientist called Nikola Tesla, where he used wireless? He discovered. He discovered.
Wouldn't say he invented it.
No,
but
sorry, he
understood
discovered
it.
the Tesla waves, where they send the wireless electricity.
Yeah, same thing.
So you mean to say the scalar is also like
Same
a Tesla
thing. Yes.
waves?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Basically a Tesla
So
wave.
that has a very scientific evidence behind the SE-5.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give you a couple examples. Now we can work at a distance, right? But we can also work on ourselves. So I have my own photo in here. We use a photograph in the software, and that creates a link, and this is my description of it. So when you take a photograph of someone, right? So we'll just say we use a flash, but it's any light. So let's say we take a flash from the camera. Those photons come from the light to the camera. They interact with the person's body field, but also their aura, not just the physical body. And then it quantum entangles every one of those photons with the person's photons that are in their field, and they change their vibrational rate. And that's why we see colors. Like if we take a color photograph, this photon that comes to your shirt will vibrate at the color blue. Whereas the photons that hit your pants and come back to the camera will vibrate, they'll go at a slower rate at the color black. So that's how we get color in the camera. So basically, when these photons have been entangled with your photons and they come back into the camera, those are stored digitally.
Okay.
And we can replay those on a crystal, liquid crystal screen, or we can send those IDFs to a far distant place. And so it basically creates a link between the subject and the SE-5, no matter where they are in the planet or in the universe in this case.
Okay. So I think this is a great technology where people who are already working in wellness or doing the aura healing or doing the chakra healing or any doctor. So this, tell me, who can use this technology?
Well, anyone can use the SE-5. I've even taught 12-year-old kids to use this, and they learned it very quickly, in fact, sometimes quicker than adults have. So anyone can use it, but I think the most successes that we've seen have been when people have specialized in their field. So for example, a farmer, when he uses it on his plants, will get better results than, say, maybe I would, who have worked more in the health field, and vice versa. I mean, anyone can do anything on any area, but the more practiced you are in your field, the better results you'll get in that area.
Okay. So that means you want to say that SE-5 is for everyone.
Yeah.
So for example, I am as a medical practitioner, I did my physiotherapy, I did my acupuncture, and I have the knowledge of acupuncture.
Yeah.
Okay, which meridian should be used for which condition. So I straight away use SE-5, use that knowledge and fix a person at a distance.
Right.
On top of my regular practice.
Yeah.
So this makes the results faster.
When I got my first SE-5, the first person I showed it to was an acupuncturist, a friend of mine. Yeah, I showed him the SE-5, and at that time I wasn't selling them or marketing them or doing anything like that. I was just so excited about it. I showed it to him, and he found my friend and my mentor, Dr. Greg Morgan, and he purchased one, but I didn't know that. And I met him a couple years later at an SE-5 seminar. And I said, "Mark, what are you doing here?" He said, "Oh, after you showed me, I had a difficult time finding it, but I found an SE-5. I don't use needles anymore."
Oh, wow.
He threw away his needles, so he just puts in the acupuncture points into the SE-5 for the person, and it balances the meridian.
Oh, wow. And I'll come to this point. How do you use this point so they don't, I will ask you in detail, but before that, I want to ask you that for what SE-5 can fix and what SE-5 cannot fix. You said it can work on healthcare, you said it can work on agriculture, you said it can
Pets.
work on the places. It can
Business,
Business.
clear houses, feng shui, or Vatsu they call it?
Vastu in
Vastu
India.
in India.
So we can even balance Vastu energy.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wow. That's great. So what it can fix and what it cannot fix? Or it can
I don't know if there's anything that it can't fix, but it has to do with the receptivity of the subject, first of all.
Yes, the faith is the first few.
Not faith, because
they don't need
animals don't have faith. Plants don't have faith.
This is the point I want to know. My next question was whether it's a placebo.
Yeah.
So this is my the answer of my question.
So plants don't respond to placebo,
Okay.
and pets don't respond to placebo.
Okay.
But I don't discount the placebo effect, and sure, that gives about 20 to 30% increase of balancing humans already if they believe in it. So I'm not discounting that.
Unless it's helping the people, even a placebo is a good.
Yeah, exactly.
People think it's bad, but I feel.
I think they should use it more in medicine.
Yeah. Unless
Try
the-
placebo
your goal
first.
Yes. So your goal to make the person back to the normal life, you can use placebo also.
Yeah.
What's wrong in that?
Yeah.
So what I understood is if I as a acupuncturist or I as a Vastu practitioner or I as a feng shui or let's say I am from any field and I have a knowledge because I gained the knowledge in my field from so
Sure.
my brain has already processed that information.
You can
So and
apply
if I
that to
use
Radionics.
SE-5 on top of my practice,
Yeah.
my practice will be double and I can help more people because I can
Exactly.
fix them at a distance.
And also work at a distance, exactly. So that's a really
So what if
big-
a layman purchase or buy the SE-5 and they want to work to fix let's say any health issue, because layman is not a doctor, but he wants to use this for their family or their friends and want to fix some health issue or maybe balancing the house energy.
Yeah.
So what can they do that?
Here, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So I'm going to just go update a program
Okay.
because I had already started one for this session. It's a demo for us.
Okay.
Okay?
So I can see you have
That's my photo up
uploaded
here.
your picture.
That's
So
correct.
is there any a specific kind of picture or a group picture or what kind of is there any rules I can
best,
use?
You can use any kind of photo. The best that I've found is a full body picture
Okay.
without a lot of busyness in the background,
Okay.
like geometric patterns or things like that. You definitely don't want any other people, plants, or animals in the picture,
Okay.
right? You want your biofield signature. That's what we're targeting. So I have my picture. You see I have quite a plain background here.
Okay, that's perfect. So only the person
Yeah.
whom we want to work on should appear in the picture.
Exactly.
Perfect. So it's very simple. So it's like, I think it's a normal layman can also do that because they just need to upload the picture and they need to follow your process.
Yes, most users are lay people of the SE-5. We do have some professionals like doctors that do use it, but I would say the biggest clientele are really lay people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So,
like I was when I started on the SE-5.
wow. So can you give some numbers like how many people are using, or you just launched this recently, or how old this technology is, like how many people using, since
Wow.
how long the SE-5 is available on this planet?
So the SE-5 came out in 1986.
Oh, that's very old.
That's very old, and I got mine in January of '87. So it was just new on the market. And I met the inventor, Dr. Bill Lawson. He was a PhD physicist.
Oh, wow.
And I worked together, ended up working with him for 25 years. And after that, when he passed away, he was getting old and he passed away. His widow then turned everything over to me to continue his legacy.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
And so it's been around a long time. So here's an example of how I would kind of go about doing a simple analysis.
If I can see, you have selected the chakras.
The chakras and then the organs, related organs. This is a good quick way to get to the heart of a problem pretty quickly.
So does it has the you said, if I remember, you said in your when we are doing conversation, you said IDF.
Yeah.
So what is it, like a frequency in hertz, or it's like number, or it's like a geometry symbol?
Okay.
What is IDF
Okay.
for the normal people to understand?
So an IDF is what we call an intrinsic data field. What that means is it's a packet of information. So like in a computer, we send packets of information, right? Well, the universe works the same way. And it basically has manifested everything that we see through packets of information. And we call those intrinsic data fields. Some people call them the blueprints of the universe, and I think that's a good description as well. So the blueprints of the universe is how everything comes into manifestation. So we use what are called intrinsic data fields. Like under the crown chakra, for example, we will have different organs. And like, for example, the trachea. We use the tuning frequency. We call that a tuning frequency of 8-90. It's actually a tuning code.
So you can say it's like, in a mathematical terms, it's a language of SE-5.
Yeah, in a way.
8-25.
It's like a code, but you can also use words. So words also have intrinsic data in them and meaning. So we have established meaning through numbers for radionics for almost 100 years
So you
already.
can check the status of your trachea and you can rebalance that.
Right.
The distance.
Well, we can check the intrinsic data fields of that. Okay?
Okay.
So the way this works is this is going to, first I'm going to take a measurement on the crown chakra, and this, since I'm the one that I'm targeting, I'm going to measure myself. But of course you could sit here and measure it as well. So anyone could be sitting here. But just for the sake of demonstration, so what I'm doing is I'm rubbing on the precision stick detector. And I have an amplitude knob. You see it goes from 100 down to 0, or 0 to 100. The crown chakra, if it's in its ideal state, should read 100%.
Okay. So the ideal scale is 0 to 100.
Right. So for something negative, like a a bad pathogen or a virus or something, its ideal state would be 0.
Yeah, it should not be there in the body.
Right.
So the scale is 0.
Right.
The ideal.
The ideal state.
So what I understood from the layman, like a good things should be always 100%,
Yeah.
and bad thing should stays at 0.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a normal way to understanding.
So I have a little graph down here,
Okay.
and when I rub on this plate, it'll start moving the graph. And what I'm looking for is the resonance peak. And so when I start dialing down from 100%, and when I get a stick, it gave me a stick at 96.3%.
So that means your crown chakra is at 96%. So that means it's almost in balanced state.
It's very close to being in
Very
balance.
close to balance.
So I'm not going to go look deeper into that one right now.
That's okay.
Let's go and look at the brow chakra. Same thing. Okay, that one's a little lower, 87%.
Okay.
Okay? So that one's low enough where I might want to go look deeper and see which organs might be related. So we already know that the brow chakra, let's go ahead and measure that brow chakra one more time. Okay? Now I can go and check the cerebrum because that's related to the crown chakra. And I do the same thing. So I'm rubbing on the plate. And I could rub this for 5 minutes and you'll see nothing happens. It just goes like bump, 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 right? Okay? But when I start...
Does it sense any vibration from this plate where you are rubbing?
It has a scalar antenna underneath of the plate.
Okay.
And so as I'm changing the amplitude strength, then it will produce that. You see how it made a spike there? That's the resonance peak of the cerebrum at 94%.
So I can say that it's like a bioresonance where you match, like for example when you do a lab test, they check with the normal readings and they check, okay, this vibrations is there, and this, like when I see, I'm sure many people has seen a video where a lady sings a song and the glass is broken up.
Right.
That means she is matching the resonance of the glass.
Right.
So
that's the resonance peak. Right.
Same way you are matching the resonance
Yeah.
of that particular organ what you are checking,
And all we're
you will
doing-
know
Yeah.
that how much is balanced,
And how much is out of balance.
and then you can rebalance that.
Yeah, we'll show you that in a moment. So let's do the third ventricle. And that's 97%. Okay, so we'll go to the adrenals. Okay, and that one's lower. Okay, and that's probably why that chakra was being lower. So that's about 83%. So now cerebellum. That one's okay, 94%. Thymus. Also, 90s, pretty good. Pineal gland. Oh, that's up like 100. I got a stick right away. Okay. And then the anterior pituitary. Let's get started again. Okay. Now we're done with that whole section. So now we could go through the entire database and check each one of the chakras.
That's if you want to go in detail.
If you want to
So
go into detail.
if I understood properly, you already have the list of the organs, the
and
chakras
organs,
in
yes.
your database,
Yeah.
and then you can scan it.
Yeah.
Which are the imbalance are there?
Yeah.
Then you can rebalance it.
Yeah.
It's like scanning, like people do X-ray, people do MRI. This is you are doing a scanning of your
Intrinsic data
data field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is like
Yeah.
a pre-manifested problem. So
Right,
if
pre-manifested,
I
exactly.
detected something
Yeah.
which is I can stop it before it manifesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
this-
the idea.
This tool, I think it's the most necessity. I feel that for the everyone. So
now, once you've made an analysis, let's say I went through all those chakras,
Okay.
and I come up with tunings, and now I want to balance them. I close that session, and I go to my balancing window,
okay.
and I want to go to myself, and I'm going to tell it to balance each one of those tunings,
So you mean to say the tuning, that's the what we have
that I
scanned,
found,
the
right,
chakra
exactly.
frequencies,
Yes.
all the frequencies. I call it radionic frequency.
Okay, you can call it radionic frequency.
Okay.
Okay, so each one is going to be balanced for 8 seconds,
Okay.
and then we're going to pause and let that integrate for 7 seconds. And so I use my stick detector to find out how long. And then we're going to repeat all of those tunings about 14 times.
Okay.
So the entire session will take 28 minutes.
Okay.
And then I'm ready to run it. So in the simple version, I just click Run Now I can also put these on the timeline and do myself. Then I could do you, then I could do my wife, you know, and I can put them all up on the timeline. Yeah, but I'm just going to run now. And then it starts balancing first my brow chakra. And it'll do each one of these tunings one after the other. It'll take a pause. Now it's going to integrate that. And I could be anywhere in the world to get this frequency balancing.
I think that's a great leap in the wellness industry. I think this could be a great leap if executed properly.
Yeah, I think
with more open-minded. So let me ask you a question. You balanced it, and I received it, the frequency. Actually, who is healing? The device is healing, or I am healing myself?
You're healing yourself. We just give the information, the correct information, for your system to reorganize itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So the device doesn't actually do any healing. It only re-instructs or reinforms your system so that it comes back into balance, and then your body does the rest.
So you gave me the right information. Let's say you give me the right packet data, which says, okay, this is your crown, this is the frequency, like a packet. I tell as a packet data to my information using the quantum physics principle, using the scalar waves where there is faster than light, as per the quantum physics law. And when my chi energy receives this information, it executes that information and I get the effects.
Yeah, then you get the effect.
Like my bioenergy changes.
Yeah. But information works on a little different principle than energy, right? I'll give you an example. Okay. So let's say you're having a computer problem. You're sitting at your computer, and you no matter what you do, it's not doing the thing that you want it to do. And you say, Don, can you help me with this? And I walk over and I don't touch your computer, right?
Yes.
And I look and I see, oh, you're not clicking that box. Go click on that box. And I only give you the information. You go click on that box and everything works.
Oh.
That's a good analogy.
That's a good example, that you give me the right thing and the rest done by my body.
Exactly.
That this is the right way to do it.
That's exactly how it works.
So as you said, that a word is also has the packet. Like for example, in India we use mantras.
Yeah.
That mantra is nothing called a bij mantra. That means bij is like having all the information in that mantra.
Exactly.
So what if I use just a mantra? I just type the mantra, or I just use the Sanskrit word, or I just use whatever my wish. Let's say I want to do some manifestation, and I use like that particular manifestation, and then I broadcast on myself. What will happen?
Go and try and find out.
Yeah,
it'll work. It works all the
if
time.
it is in the realm of acceptance.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, I can understand that I cannot manifest like 10 billion overnight, but it can improve my situation if I know my situation.
Okay, there's something between probabilities and possibilities, okay? So what I've come to experience myself is that it seems like when we do this kind of balancing, we move possibilities into probabilities. Okay? If they're probabilities, they usually move into actuality. So it's kind of a push between possibilities, probabilities, and actuality. So that's why, of course, if you're not a billionaire and you want to become a billionaire overnight, it's probably not going to happen.
Not happen, right? Because I need to create that mindset. I need
everything,
to give my effort.
Everything that would go
I need
along
to do the
with
work. But this is.
Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, because it's possible you could become a billionaire, and with this help, it would move it into the probability level.
Okay.
But probably not into the actuality level. That makes sense?
That makes sense. Yeah. I understood you completely. That it changed the situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
So just tell me, apart from healthcare, what all areas the SE-5 can help, in what other areas?
Just about any area it'll help. People use it in agriculture. They work with pets. They work in business. Like for example, with prosperity or abundance, that's a good thing to balance and moves. I have so many testimonials from people where all of a sudden this money just lands in their lap, Oh, wow. But within their means. It's not like $5 million shows up, but still a lot of money sometimes, and so it works in just about every area that you want to apply it. You have to be creative and like we said before, if you're an expert in one area,
Yeah, then I can do more.
you will know how to
How to use
apply
this.
this in your area.
So it could be my companion.
Yeah.
In
But we have training courses at
If
school.
person wants to learn, how can they can contact you,
Yeah.
and then you can just guide them how to use
Yeah.
it.
Well, in terms of just checking out the school, we have radionic.online, and it's a school. A lot of courses
They
are
can
free.
just go free and they
A
can.
lot of free courses and then paid courses, of course. And if they want to learn more about the SE-5, they can contact me or they can talk to you about it. SE-5.com is the website.
Okay.
But the other thing that we've been working with is something called wave balancing, radionic frequency balancing. And that is a website where anyone can go on and choose a program
Okay.
and start balancing themselves. And they can run it for 2 weeks for free and try it out.
Okay. Okay. So they don't have to buy the device.
They don't have
just,
to buy anything.
They just don't
No.
not to. They just need don't need to go for the rigorous
No, because
training.
we have racks and racks and racks of these instruments stacked up, and then basically they go on and choose a program and upload their photo, and it goes and finds a unit that's not being used,
Okay.
and it starts balancing them, and then they
it's
can
like-
try it out.
So it's like radionics frequency in the hand of my hand. So if I want let's say I'm traveling and I want to do some balancing, I can just go to website, I upload my picture and I do
exactly.
balancing.
Yeah,
Okay.
wavebalancing.com.
What kind of programs it has on the wave
Oh
balancing?
gosh, it has just about
Just
everything.
one or two names, or a few names.
well-
Which are the most popular?
Yeah, okay, so relationship is a big one.
Okay.
Relationship harmonization, then of course prosperity,
Okay.
increased
Yeah,
cash
I love
flow.
to do that,
That's a big one.
prosperity.
Sleep is a big one.
Okay.
Yeah, deep sleep. People have loved that program.
Okay.
And then a lot of things for pain. You know, like people that have gone through pain have written a lot of times how their pain has gone away. So many.
Okay.
But I think there's 300 programs on there.
So if I just want to do a daily balancing, I can find a lot of programs online. I just go to website and I just
Look through them and
look through and balance.
look
Is there
through the
any
category and
charges,
see which one you need.
Any charges are there to use the?
Well, the first 2 weeks it's free,
It's free.
right? And then there are some free programs. And then I don't know exactly, but they're in Indian rupees, but it's not very much, $2 or $3 or
Okay.
something.
Before investing in the SE-5.
Yeah.
So if I am more like a researcher, I want to do more research, then I go in the SE-5.
Yeah.
More research. If I just
Right.
want to layman,
Yeah.
I'm with my busy schedule. I just go to program and balancing myself.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say that a pre-programmed program that you go and push a button and it balances you is not going to be as effective as if you do an analysis, find out exactly what the client needs, and balance that. Of course, you're going to get much more
Okay.
direct
Okay.
balancing
So
effects.
If I want to find a practitioner who can work on me, I should contact you. You can-
I think you can contact through wave balancing. I think there's a way to contact through wave balancing.
So I think this technology, what I feel is this technology is companion, and it can help in every areas of my life, and I can use it to grow my life and to be more healthy
Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
and wise. Everything.
Absolutely.
So I think this should be reached to everyone,
Yeah.
either this way or either that way.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
thank
Thank you. Thank you for
thank you for
coming.
your time. Thank
Yeah,
you for
that's wonderful.
explaining the great technology, and I hope it will help more and more people. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience to talk with you, and it's a great thing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you.